The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Open, the one and only show that opens up the Bronx and the world to you. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS, your number one source for R&B. We have an incredible show lined up for you this morning. Leading off the show will be Alec Dialco, John W. Carr, and Donna Friedman. And they're going to be here today to discuss the proposal of the Roslyn Yalo Academy Charter School. After that, Jerry Landy, he's going to join us to talk to us about his documentary, which focused on Hurricane Sandy.
If someone gets wind of this and starts to investigate, I'll get caught up in the mess Mayor Carr left behind. But if we can clean this up and help this community, I could stay in office and do right by everybody.
So where do we fit in?
I want you to hunt these f***ers down. I want you in suits, and I want the both of you to look presentable. I'll tell everybody around here I hired you as office staff. Set the both of you up in rooms, and by day, everyone will see you. But by night, hunt the marsh and hunt the boatyard and catch or kill whatever the f*** this is. You start in the morning. Can the both of you get behind me on this?
Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee. Hope you're having a most wonderful experience checking out the show, and you can check us out on 107.5 WBLS After the Quiet Storm each and every night, also after Lenny Green. Our next guest is a filmmaker right from here, the Boogie Down, they go like this, the BX. Here to discuss his new documentary about Hurricane Sandy is Jerry Landy. We welcome you to the show, Jerry.
Mr. Lee, how you doing? Pleasure to be here.
Good. You came up with this this wonderful project. Talk about how did you get started in filmmaking?
I was a medical photographer for 17 years, doing some pretty crazy stuff.
A medical photographer?
Yeah. I've done everything from autopsies to medical books. And, yeah, the cool stuff. The cool stuff. That's how I got into the horror business. Yeah. But what happened was I left the job to be a stay-at-home dad, and I went to film school. So after 2 years of changing diapers and going to, all these doctor's appointments, I decided...
Well, diaper changing was pretty exciting, wasn't it?
Really? You've done it? That sounds like someone who's never changed a diaper.
Crazy things can happen.
Yeah, crazy things if you have boys. I had girls, so I was very lucky. Crazy things didn't happen in that respect. But I decided to get back into filmmaking. I did a documentary on military funerals. Got into film festivals, started running the circuit, did my first horror movie, Crackoon, which was about a crack-addicted raccoon terrorizing the Bronx, taking out all the crooked politicians, a very fun film. And up to this point, I just finished my new film, the sequel to Crackoon, which is going pretty big. We're all over the country. We're going to have the first Bronx premiere in over 30 years. At the Louis American Theater in Parkchester.
That's the current project.
Oh, yeah, the current project, Blood March Crackoon. Yeah, the documentary, starting to build up information. I actually have some stuff put down on it already. But with a documentary, especially Sandy was so recent, I'm still trying to get a lot of people to go on camera and talk to me. But I'm starting to archive video from old storms, archiving old photographs from the neighborhood. So it's a process. Documentaries are a lot different than films. Films, you're dealing with real people and scripts. Documentaries, you're creating something, you're trying to create reality from reality.
Can you use still pictures?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have a lot of that. I
covered it's really funny. I showed some pictures to the producers. I actually restored an old picture before Bronx Beach was built in Frogs Neck, before the bridge was built. And the picture was like 6 feet long, and I cut into sections, part of the film. And we put it on film, and you actually scan through and see how the Bronx looked in 1928, which looked like a prairie, it was pretty cool, cool.
Now, what made you want to get involved in doing a documentary about Hurricane Sandy?
I'm from Locust Point. I grew up in Locust Point. Locust Point was hit pretty hard by Sandy. I got lucky. We only lost our bedroom set. I had neighbors who lost everything, just lost everything. We lost our civic house.
You had stories about furniture and floating by.
Furniture and boats in my neighborhood because we live on the water. And the Civic House, where I was president of the Civic Association for 5 years, was destroyed. And the Civic House is somewhere, as a kid, we used to go to parties and weddings. And
that was a place to be, right?
It was a place to be. And unbeknownst to me, during the hurricane, they were planning a 50th birthday party for me at the Civic, and the Civic was taken out. So I thought it was for a friend of mine. I'm trying to rearrange a party, and it was my party, which I didn't know. But Sandy hit me. You know, we lost some stuff in our house, but I want to rebuild the Civic Center.
Yeah.
And the funds are pretty low. We're trying to raise money. So I figured, let me work on this documentary. If I make money from the documentary, 100% of the proceeds will go to building the Civic House. My first film, Crackoon, since it was a short subject, it was a festival circuit favorite, but I couldn't get distribution on it. So all the money that was made from that movie went into helping keep the Civic House open.
I have a short to talk to you about. Maybe we talk about that. Yeah. You do shorts?
Yes, I wear shorts and I do shorts. Yeah.
I got a funny one that can be kind of controversial also.
Oh, I hate controversy. You know, talk to my people.
Funny and controversial.
I love
we got to check that out.
I love controversy. Well, listen, controversy makes a film. I'm also working with some pretty big people in the Bronx now to open our first major production studio here. And this is something we've wanted to do for a long time. The Bronx is the only borough that doesn't have a large working production facility. New York City gets somewhere between $8 and $9 billion in movie production. We make about $7 million.
Did you talk to Mike Nobby?
We're actually here to do some meetings today too. We've been doing a lot of meetings. We're meeting with some people here today.
Yeah.
We're going to see. Yeah. We're going with this, and this film has given us a little credibility now. The new film, we have some good people working with us. Our publicist is pretty big in the horror field, so we're getting great publicity out of the movie already. People are asking for it. So I'm hoping that this movie, to show what we did in the Bronx, because listen, I grew up in the Bronx. I'm going to die here. I love the Bronx. Yeah. I think the Bronx is a beautiful borough. I think we get a bad rap, and I think that if we opened up a major facility here and showed people what we have here, God, people would flood to the Bronx. Yeah. And like I said, I live here. I'm going to die in this borough. So let's build something really cool that I can bring. You know, people talk about carbon footprints. There's nothing bad about a good carbon footprint. And if you're going to build something that's going to bring people jobs in this area, build up the people. Listen, there are kids who want to get in the film. How do you do it? Well, I have a production studio here in the Bronx. Come work with me. We can give you $35 to $40 an hour and train you to be in the business. So these are some of the things we're working on now.
You got a lot of people here. You got college students, and you got interns that are working cameras and all up in the control room. Yeah, maybe a lot of them would like to get involved
in the
movies.
That too. Why not make horror movies?
Look at our floor manager's pumping her hands.
You want a job? She's good. I was watching her. We're watching all the production people while we're sitting here, and we're going, she's good.
Yeah, you're looking at it differently.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, we're looking production-wise. We're looking at the studio. I'm looking at lights. I'm saying, wow, I got a good setup here. I can stage a good murder in this place. On film. We're horror movie guys, so we kill a lot of people for fun.
You do? Yeah. All right. So how far in are you with this particular project?
The documentary or the horror movie?
The documentary.
Documentary where I just started. I have about 15 minutes of footage cut in. I'm going to probably do it about an hour, but I want to get interviews with the old-timers, so I'm trying to line that up now. The people who lived through the storm in 1928, who are still around, compare it to the storm Sandy. You know, that's what I want to do. And I want to bring a little personal, show people what we lost. I mean, like I said, sanitation every day came down the block, taking people's lives out of their houses.
Yeah, well, this storm was different. It was a nor'easter. It was a storm, Frankenstorm. It was a full moon. Yeah.
There was one point during the storm because we had water come into my house and I was bailing water out with a pump. Thank God I didn't lose power. We would have got flooded. Yeah. And there was one part where you heard, and it was like Godzilla was stomping through the Bronx. Wow. And I said, I think it's time we all went inside and tried to keep cool. And we saw boats and piers floating down our block. It was surreal. And I've lived there my whole life, and it's never been that bad.
No, I have pictures of boats just parked on the roadway.
People were said we're going to houses to have coffee on boats. I felt like I lived in Venice. They were going back and forth. But it's, the devastation is still there. Look at Staten Island,
Yeah, a lot of people are still having trouble rebuilding, the long food lines. I got together with churches.
Gas. What about gasoline? It's like Mad Max. We're fighting for gas. People online is fighting for gasoline. It's like, I always say it.
The Carter administration.
I remember that, too, going in the middle of the night. Our friend on the gas station used to open up at 3 in the morning for us to fill up our cars. I was like, wow, this is crazy. But we weren't prepared for it. And my neighbors were saying, we never get hit that hard while I'm sandbagging my house. and they were laughing at me.
Did you get the pictures of people on long lines? Gas stations?
Well, I kept away from the gas stations. I had to go to Connecticut to get gas.
Yeah.
That was really
I
fun.
mean, I got pictures for you.
Well,
There were
I'm
two
doing a
different lines.
documentary. Help me out. I would love to have the
Yeah, there
pictures.
are two different lines. You got the car lines all the way 4, 5, 6 blocks, sometimes a mile down, and then you had a long line of people with the red canisters going back the other
you had
way.
Police officers
On foot.
blocking off streets to make sure people weren't caught in line.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you think about it, I had to go to a funeral in Brooklyn, and we couldn't go because we had no gas. So it's like, wow, you take for granted the little things we lose and something like that. And, instead of you lost pictures, we lost furniture, and we lost people. I know somebody who passed away in the storm. So it kind of hits home, and we're hoping to get a lot of participation in this.
Yeah, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Deep. Well, we hope it turns out well for you. What can people do to get involved with the documentary?
Go to landyjerry@yahoo.com. That's my email address. I also have a Facebook page for Blood Marsh Raccoon. You can get in touch with me through my movie page, which I'd like people to go to that page and start seeing what we're doing, because we're looking for an April release here in the Bronx. We want to make it a big deal. Red carpet, star, the whole thing.
Beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
And where can people send their information if they want to get involved, like with camera work or get a job?
Get in touch with me. Go to Facebook. Go to my Facebook page. I do most of my business through that page. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The Raccoon, Blood Marsh Raccoon. If you're interested, we're interested in looking for people. We get the studio built. We want these people here. I want her. So
Hey.
I'm looking at her right now.
She
What's
just
her name? What's her name? You don't know.
What's our
her
floor manager's name?
Lonnie. She's
she
great.
said he wants
I want
you.
her to work for me.
There you go.
I think my guys are watching you too.
Oh,
so
wait a
yeah,
minute.
yeah.
Well, we need her here for a little while longer.
We'll offer her a good job. We like good. Wait, listen. You from the Bronx?
No, Manhattan.
We don't know
well,
if
she
we
can
use it
travel.
now.
She can
Yeah,
travel.
We'll work something
She could be a
out.
work-at-home person, too.
We'll work something out. Listen, it's all about keeping in our neighborhood, making it Bronx-centric. Our movie pumped in. Most of our budget for our last movie went into the Bronx.
Good.
If we could rent equipment in the Bronx, we would have spent that money here too. But
What's your Facebook page? How can people get in touch?
Blood Marsh Raccoon with a K, Krackoon. Look at the pictures. Look at the trailer about our crack-addicted raccoon and his offspring. It's a pretty funny movie. It's funny, gory. We got Cindy Guy, our ex-playmate, as the star of the movie, and Salamori, who's in the back here, is our main star. So.
Salamori.
He's right there.
Well, thank you so much, Jerry
Thank you so
Landy,
much, Mr.
everybody,
Lee. It's a big
Bronx
pleasure.
filmmaker. And we'll see you again. I'll talk to you about that funny, controversial
Okay,
stuff.
cool. I'm around.
Don't go anyway. We'll return with Reed Hadley.